remember finding it all out and my heart just dropped. My dad always used to give me the advice, like, just write bum on the paper and come home. And this was even like when I was doing my A-levels. Oh my God, do not cry, stop it. Like, honestly, I was leaning down because like something wasn't right with my ring light, and I bashed my head on the wardrobe, and I've got like a proper egg on my head, and it's all just got a bit wrong. It's got a bit wrong, quite frankly. I'm already sick of it. I'm sick of filming, and I haven't even done the intro yet. It's great. It's a great time for me. Welcome back to Mind with Mills. How's everyone doing? Sorry about that little moany start right there. I just needed to get it off my chest. So today we are filming something that I've been so nervous about filming. Honestly, I've been sort of putting it off and putting it off. Obviously, it's a very intimate thing, sort of sharing sort of personal details about your life. I wanted to post a bit, so I thought like you could get to know me, I could get to know you guys, and I just feel like the time is right. The time is now, so I'm doing it. I've been suffering with mental health illness for about 15 years. Like, those are my earliest experiences, I think. Obviously, 15 years is a very long amount of time, and I didn't want to sort of squeeze it all into one video and like cut bits out and miss bits. We're gonna do a part 1 and a part 2, I think. And it just says a lot about my life, really, doesn't it? It's such a mess. Needs to be put into 2 videos. Okay, right, without further ado, let's just get into this. When I was like around 10 years old, I used to get myself so worked up, like honestly, hyperventilating, everything. When it came around to sort of the exam period, which is ridiculous, like when I think about it now, because like, what was I scared of? Like failing colouring? Like, it doesn't make sense. But it felt very real to me at the time. Like, I had a genuine fear of exams, and I used to just get myself so worked up. I would be so anxious the day before. I would be so anxious in the morning. I would literally throw up like on the way to school, which is so sad. Like, can you imagine like little 10-year-old me in my little school dress, like crying my eyes out, throwing up everywhere? It must have been great for my mum. And I think my mum was obviously very concerned about it, because I was getting myself so worked up over like common entrance and like little school exams. I think she thought like, God, what is she going to be like when she's like 16 and doing her GCSEs and her A-levels and stuff. So I did go and see a therapist, because I think my mum was very concerned about me. I was literally like 10 years old going to see a therapist, which some people might say it's like too young, but honestly I think it was like a really great thing for me. I can't remember like much of it, if I'm completely honest. Through my therapy, the reason I sort of found out that I was getting myself so worked up is because I was so scared of failure. This has been a reoccurring theme throughout my life. I hate pressure. I cannot stand it. It's that fear of failure. It's overwhelming for me, and it has just caused me a lot of anxiety in my life. I've been depressed over it. So like exams and pressure in general, it just ain't a bit of me, love. Like I can't do it. I sort of move on to sort of my like 14 stages. So obviously you're going through like the changes, all that awkward puberty crap. It affected me massively. Like, oh my Jesus, puberty hit me like a freaking school bus. And I don't mean in the good way. No, I literally looked the exact same. I've literally stayed the same. Everybody says this. From like the age of 12, I look the exact same. Like maybe like a little bit different, but mostly still the same. Some people blossomed, I just stayed the same. Which is great for me. Bless. Does wonders for my self-confidence. Anyway, I can remember I like started getting spots for the first time, which again, it seems so juvenile and so stupid, but I had like perfect skin up until this point. And like, it wasn't acne, like it honestly wasn't, it was just a few spots, but for some reason it affected my mental health massively. And I think with all those hormones sort of like rushing around your body, hormones, funnily enough, have always had a massive effect on my mental health throughout my life. When I'm on my period, it is the worst time for my mental health. I tend to feel really depressed and anxious, and I'll have my down days. Like obviously they've gotten better as I've gotten older, because I've sort of learned to manage it. So it doesn't actually shock me now I'm looking back on it that, you know, tiny little things like my skin were causing like massive upset in my brain. I took like long periods of time off of school because I literally just didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. I was so depressed, and I can just remember feeling so low, and that is the first time I can remember having suicidal thoughts. I just thought that it was never going to get any better, and I was like, I do not want to live like this if this is what the rest of my life is going to be like all these changes happening to my body and to myself and to my brain. I'm super close with my mum. She's literally, shout out to Jules, I love her. She's like my best friend, and through those years she was such a massive support to me, because she suffers from panic attacks and she's had sort of mental health issues in her past, and she just got it. I was so lucky, I feel like I was so lucky. Not everybody has that, and it makes me so sad that there might be like a kid or a child or a teenager or whatever suffering and feeling like I felt, and not having anyone to turn to, and no one really understanding what that person is necessarily going through, especially I think for boys, because they go through all these like puberty changes too, and hormones and everything else. But I feel like it's almost frowned upon in our society for boys to show that emotion. It's heartbreaking. Like if I had a son that felt the way I felt, my advice to him would never be like, stop being a baby about it, like suck it up. I would be like, cry if you need to cry, talk to me. This is why I started this channel in the first place, because sometimes it's just nice to know that like someone is going through the same thing as you. Like just relating to someone in that way can make you feel a little bit better. Anyway, 14 years old, I had this breakdown, and it took me so long. I think like a couple of months, 3 months almost, to get over it. Like I said, I wasn't really going into school. I just felt so awful. I was seeing a therapist then as well, a CBT therapist. Funnily enough, which is crazy to me, my brother, my eldest brother, who I love dearly, but we don't always see eye to eye in every situation. And I remember him speaking to me and like sitting me down and saying like, you know, you can see all the therapists you want to see, but you are the only one that can change your life. You have got to decide, I don't want to feel like this anymore, and I need to change it. When you're so down, like in the depths of despair, you literally feel like it's never going to end. You feel like sort of like a dark cloak has been put over your brain, and you just go into yourself and you just think, I'm never gonna feel happiness again. Like I can't explain it. If you haven't suffered from it, you probably won't know what I'm talking about, because sometimes it can be so easy just to sort of lay in bed and be with your thoughts and your emotions and feel depressed and anxious. You need to get up out of bed, you need to do something about it. Go on a run, go on a walk, do your exercise, write in your wellness journal. You need to change it. Nobody's going to change it for you, only you can change it. So I did, and I went back to school and I got my life back on track, and I don't remember any sort of mental health issues coming up in my life for like several years. I met my like first love. It's so cringy when I talk about it. Like I was talking about it on my like Q&As, and you know when you're just like thinking, I freaking hope he doesn't see this. I would be so mortified, like I would die. But isn't your first heartbreak, like anybody that's gone through it will know, it's the worst thing in the world. And especially when you're so young, I mean, I was 17, but I was a young 17, like definitely. I was very naive. I just thought the world was made of roses and rainbows, and I had a very rude awakening to find out it wasn't love. I was just so innocent and sweet and just had no idea about the world. So he wasn't a particularly nice person. I think I got a bad one. I think someone so innocent and sort of so fragile shouldn't have had that, but maybe I needed it. Maybe it was like a slap in the face of reality and I needed something like that to sort of bring me back down to earth. He lied to me, he cheated on me, and this to me was just the worst thing in the world. Again, at the time, it just was. Like, I look back now and I think, oh, it hurt me. I can remember finding it all out and my heart just dropped. And I was heartbroken. I think it took me like a solid year to get over him. It was such a mess and I was in such a bad mental state. I was having panic attacks left, right and centre. They would not stop. I would wake up in the middle of the night and have a panic attack. I can just remember like my best friend who's still, this is my period. I just want to put this out there. This is my period for sure coming out. Yeah, she's still my best friend today. She is amazing, and I think a large part of why we're so close is because we've always just been there for each other like nothing else. She was there for me so much at that time. Like, I do not know what I would have done without her. Which is why having good friends around you and having an amazing support network is so important, so you can talk to them, you can communicate your emotions. And I just used to tell her everything, and she used to hold me, and I used to literally cry into her arms, and she was just there for me. I got over it, which I think should be like the most important lesson to take from any situation that has happened throughout your life. These things might happen to you and pain will be felt, and sometimes the pain can be so intense and so overwhelming that you think that it's just never going to end, but it does. I got over those things. I know they don't sound like crazy things to get over, but at the time it felt so crazy to me, and I know that those feelings and those emotions were intense. I needed my therapist's help, I needed my parents' help, I needed support, I needed to talk about my problems in order to get over them. And you can do it. Only you can make the change. My mum always just said to me, like, time is the greatest healer. Sometimes it can be a year, sometimes it can be 2 years, but it gets better and better each day. I promise. I had to take a food break because you know how I get, I need my food. I've just eaten so much food. I was like, do I just change into trackies for the outro? But just for you guys, just for you, I'm gonna stay in these tight jeans for the outro. I feel like I've run a marathon and all I've done is eat loads of cake. I feel like I need a massive drink. I don't know about you guys. Go pour yourself a glass of wine, go have a bath, chill out. I know I'm going to. Hopefully this has helped someone in some way, shape or form, because that's why I do what I do on here, is just to help and make people happy. I'm the happiest that I've ever been, just because I've fought through it, done all the stuff that I need to do to help myself, and I'm here. So keep going, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. I always find that so cringy when I go like that. No, I can't deal with it. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.